it was like a gathering of a National Union of Road Transport workers. Understand? Because when that song started, all of them stood up. Understand? All of them. So now this is an event. Understand? So even there's no way that song should have been played by anybody. It is gross insensitivity. It is gross insensitivity because if it's a DJ that they hired, they would have told him what to do. Anywhere president is coming is the national anthem. Once they start the national anthem, everybody stand up. But you are standing up on your mandate to stand. Is that our national anthem? The answer is no. And to tell you the truth, I regretted that Super Falcons won that cup because of that song that they sang on that day. I regretted that Super Falcon won that cup because of that song that they sang on. That's not our national anthem. Understand? That is not our national anthem. We have had presidents in this country. Understand? If Obasanjo is coming, if Yar'Adua is coming, if Jonathan is coming, if Buhari is coming, do they play any other song apart from the national anthem? So I watched the video. They stood up for that song. They stood up for that song. So if they are not part of it, they will have told the DJ stop. Understand? Play the national anthem because that is not our national anthem. So, as I told you, those people to me is like gathering of a National Union of Road Transport workers. I stopped respecting judges from 2015. I stopped respecting judges from 2015. Understand? In the 80s, 90s, we see judges like bishops. Understand? We see judges, not a Pentecostal bishop, so those are 419. I'm talking of Catholic bishops. The respect that Catholic bishops have, that's the same respect that judges have. Then you don't see them. You don't see them. It's just from their house to the court, from the court back. They don't go to Owambe. They don't go to naming ceremony. They don't print a complimentary card. So you don't have to call them. But these current judges, even naming ceremony, they attend. And when you begin that to make friends, compromise has started. They always call you, do this for me, do this for me. There's one politician that brought up, raised his phone up and tell me, Peter, all the judges in Nigeria, their phone numbers are on this phone. Understand? A politician. Understand? So now, how do you expect that integrity from such people? So for me, I'm not saying that there's no hope in our current judges. Okay. Maybe those that will be called to the bench, maybe from the next from 2030, because they will even be corrupting the junior ones. So I'm not seeing these people changing anything. That's why I keep on saying the best thing to do for any Nigerian, if you have case, try to settle out of court.
Okay, I will have your concluding thoughts in just a minute, but let me first go to Dr. Eric. Dr. Eric, please, can you give us your concluding thoughts before we leave tonight?
My concluding thought is very simple. My concluding thought is government should face governance, face their work. Citizens
Okay, we seem to have lost Dr. Eric there. Let's come to you, Dr. Peter. What are your concluding thoughts, or what is your concluding thought?
Well, for me, government should act fast and rescue the girls that were kidnapped. We had that two that have escaped, the remaining 23. So government should act fast because they are not going to hide them in the moon or in the sun. So they should act fast and bring them. It shouldn't be like the politically motivated Chibok. Understand? They should do fast and bring them back. Then the presidency should try and stop the killings in the country.
Okay, that's all we have for today's episode of the issues. Thank you very much for being a part of it, Dr. Peter. Thank you, yes, sir. Thank you very much, Dr. Eric, for being a part of it virtually all the way from Port Harcourt. You're welcome. Today we explore the challenges facing Nigeria's politics and, of course, governance. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to tune in next time for more in-depth analysis and discussion. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on the latest news and insight. Until next time, stay informed. I am Nenna Ndomdioto, and this has been the Issues and Voice of the People television, where the future faces forward. Please stay tuned for Hashtag with Vivian and Ikechukwu by 8 p.m. Thank you.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Join Moses, Chukuma, and Fina on Voice of the People TM. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
2564 is coming up on Burning 9 right.
The 2564 Atlantic Tower.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
Hello there, my name is Damilola Ogunsi, also known as the Goldfish.
Hi, my name is Chiki Bright Emmanuel. I'm an actor and a filmmaker.
Hello peeps, my name is Yomi E. Adejimo.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul Utomi.
Hi everyone, my name is Stacey Benjamin and this is Voice of the People TV.
I need you to keep it locked to VOP TV. See, are you looking for good entertainment? You want to get good movies, good music, politics, talk shows, sports and entertainment. You really want a channel that gives you everything you need without you having to run around. VOP is where you are. That's Voice of the People.
If you're not listening to this, you're not one of us. And you deserve to be killed. Scrap chat. Don't be killed, but watch it. Or I'll find you.
and I want you. And you are locked on VOP TV. Don't go nowhere. This is where the juice is. This is where all you need for entertainment, politics, movies, and whatnot.
And keep watching VOP TV.
So keep it locked because I'm locked already, man, and it's money back guarantee. So you're gonna have a good time because I do.
And please keep watching VOP TV.
I want something actually. I beg you, subscribe, watch it. If not, whatever you see.
You better not touch that die because VOP is the plot.
It's World Pneumonia Day 2025, and this year, the theme is child survival. Pneumonia remains the leading infectious cause of death in children under 5. Yet, most of these deaths are preventable. Every child deserves a chance to breathe freely, to grow, to laugh, and to live. But in many communities, children still face barriers like malnutrition, polluted air, lack of vaccination, and limited access to prompt medical care. Pneumonia may start like a simple cough or fever, but without early attention, it can become life-threatening. So what can we do? Ensure children are vaccinated, provide good nutrition for stronger immunity, keep the environment smoke-free and clean, and most importantly, seek medical help early when symptoms appear, especially fast breathing or difficulty breathing.
Pneumonia is the leading cause of death in low-resource communities for these reasons. Malnutrition. Malnutrition is major. Many of these people hardly have access or hardly have enough funds to make sure that they eat, let alone their children. Access to quality health care. They don't have access to proper health care. Incomplete vaccinations. Many times they don't complete the vaccinations. The conditions of living. Many times so many people are living in a small community. Many times they don't recognize the symptoms early. They are not aware that this is what they are dealing with. Now, fast breathing. Child that is breathing fast. A child that when they are breathing, their chest is going inside. It's called indrawing of the chest. A child that is coughing profusely. A child that starts complaining that their chest is paining them. Or you notice that this child all of a sudden, they are not eating properly. These are signs that once you notice it, quickly get them to the hospital. Don't try to manage it. Proper hygiene, good nutrition, proper ventilation. Make sure the children get their adequate vaccinations.
Every action counts. Every breath matters. Let's work together to protect our children. World Pneumonia Day 2025, child survival is not a privilege. It is a right. I'm Praise Peters, reporting for Voice of the People Television.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Welcome to Kitty's Corner. Every weekend is a new journey. Join Auntie Oni as she embarks on thrilling adventures. Each episode takes the young explorers to a different fantastical world filled with exciting challenges, making new friends and learning valuable life lessons. The show begins with lots of excitement in a cozy storytelling mood. Fairies teach the importance of kindness, honesty, bravery, teamwork, or curiosity. Kitty's Corner is a delightful blend of fun, education, and imagination with catchy songs, interactive games, and heartwarming stories. Join Auntie Oni every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Voice of the People Television. Kitty's Corner, perfect destination for curious minds.
My name is Esther. They call me the Oga Patapata of them are the general overseer of them all. Every man, every woman has got a voice where integrity is the volume. So this is Voice of the People's TV. Voice of the People's TV. So this is the people's voice. And the people's voice is the voice of God. That's the voice populi in Latin. The people's voice is the voice of God. So keep watching Voice of the People. In fact, my name is Voice of the People. Keep watching MC Ado Pikin.
Hi guys, my name is Kagan. I am Nigeria's biggest tech content creator, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Voice of the People TV. Keep watching, enjoy, and you're welcome.
My name is MC Alamano. They say call me Enjoy Med Landlord. It's VOP TV. Keep watching VOP TV. Don't touch it down. Even if you want to touch it down, increase the volume. If you don't increase the volume, why told me?
My name is Collins Agawabe, popularly known as No Maiden, but last, more than No Maiden. Or more. Not be all so the cook right at the fry plantain. We keep on watching VOP TV. The voice of the people, the voice of Edo. If you want to get the authentic news for Edo, the way it be, that's why they show and all they cut anything come on at VOP TV.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
Well, hello and welcome to News Hour on Voice of the People TV. I am Vivian Oguche. Before we begin the news, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Here are the headlines. Federal government orders closure of Unity colleges over security threats. Federal government says no nationwide school closure. DSS chief meets Tinubu as school abductions spark national alarm. Borno governor declares statewide day of fasting and prayer amid insecurity. Also, police foil attack in Zamfara. As Peter Obi calls for dialogue after Nnamdi Kanu's life sentence. On the foreign scene, aftershocks hit Bangladesh as death toll climbs to 10. In business news, only CBN licensed firms can collect electricity payments, says NERC. While in sports news, Blues beat Burnley 2-0 to close gap on EPL leaders. Finally, in the world of entertainment, federal government postpones NAFES 2025 due to national insecurity. Now the news in detail. The federal government has ordered 41 Unity colleges to shut down immediately. The move follows rising security threats across several states. A circular from the Ministry of Education confirmed that the minister, Tunji Alausa, approved the decision. Principals were told to enforce the closure without delay. This comes as schools in parts of the north have faced new attacks and mass abductions. Just days ago, gunmen kidnapped students from schools in Niger and Kebbi states. President Bola Tinubu has asked security agencies to step up rescue and protection efforts. The growing concern has renewed calls for stronger action to keep students safe. In the meantime, the Federal Ministry of Education has dismissed reports claiming schools nationwide will be shut from Monday. The ministry says the message circulating online is completely false. A statement from the ministry's spokesperson, Folashade Boriowo, clarified that the information did not come from the government. She urged the public to ignore the rumor and avoid spreading it further. The ministry advised Nigerians to rely only on verified announcements issued through official government channels. It stressed that no directive had been issued ordering a blanket shutdown of schools. Officials also warned that sharing unconfirmed information only fuels panic and misinformation, I should say. They encourage the public to always verify news before forwarding it to others. And on the heels of that, Amnesty International is raising fresh concerns over the safety of school children in northern Nigeria. The organization says the government is not doing enough to keep young learners safe from attacks. This follows the confirmed abduction of 315 students and staff from St. Mary's Catholic schools in Niger State. Amnesty says it shows that lessons from previous kidnappings have not been taken seriously. The group warns that many students now live with fear and trauma, with hundreds of schools shut across several states. Some children are even dropping out completely because they no longer feel safe going to class. Amnesty wants the government to investigate the attacks and bring those responsible to justice. It says no child should risk their life just to get an education. In the meantime, the Director General of the DSS, Oluwatosin Ajayi, has met with President Bola Tinubu to update him on the country's worsening security situation. The meeting followed a wave of school attacks and abductions across northern states. Presidential aide Bayo Onanuga shared photos from the Friday night briefing but gave no detailed outcome. He said the conversation centered on the recent escalation of violence and the government's response. The federal government has set up a joint task force to search for abducted students, while the defense minister has been ordered to relocate to Kebbi. The United States has also offered support after high-level security talks in Washington. Communities remain on edge as more attacks are reported, including the kidnapping of hundreds from a Niger school. The growing tension has forced schools closures and pushed the presidency to cancel planned international trips. Well, in the heat of this, Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State has officially declared a day of fasting and prayer across northeastern states. The move is intended to seek God's guidance and intervention amid the rising spate of insecurity in the region. The governor made the declaration during a statewide broadcast to residents on Saturday morning. He called upon every resident, regardless of faith, to join the prayer for lasting peace and prosperity in the state.
Dear citizens of Borno State, I address you today not just as your governor, but as a fellow citizen with a profound sense of patriotism and with every confidence who shares in your anxieties, hopes, and desires for a peaceful and prosperous Borno, that the future of our dear state is brighter than ever. For the past 15 years, Borno State has been in the global spotlight owing to the Boko Haram insurgency. This conflict has affected every segment of our society, displacing millions of people across all 27 local government areas and dislocating the socio-economic activities and livelihoods of our people. By the will of God, we were able to overcome those harrowing days of insurgency by uniting as one, settling aside differences of ethnicity, religion, and sectionalism. We rallied behind our armed forces and other security agencies to confront the common enemy, whose aim was to destabilize our state, the Northeast, and the nation as a whole. The relative peace attained in the state has contributed to a promising harvest for this year's farming season. Farmers have been able to cultivate their crops that is expected to sustain them for the next 1 to 2 years. The Borno State government remains committed to supporting farmers with inputs and agrochemicals. The continued support is to ensure year-round farming in order to achieve food sufficiency across the state. Despite the recent sporadic attacks, Borno State has witnessed a reasonable degree of stability. However, the unfolding situation in the state, the nation, and the globe is a matter of great concern to us. Let me commend the people of Borno State for their steadfastness and commitment to the cause of peace. This has demonstrated through relentless prayers, fasting, and continued support for our gallant troops in the front line, the civilian JTF hunters and vigilantes. Indeed, your resilience has been a source of inspiration and strength to me and to the entire administration. As people of faith, we believe our security strategies must be underpinned by prayers. I hereby declare Monday, 24th November 2025 as a statewide day of fasting and prayer for the restoration of peace in Borno State and the country in general. On this day, I call upon every resident of Borno State, regardless of faith, to join in prayer for the lasting peace and prosperity of our beloved state and Nigeria. Consequently, let us therefore devote ourselves to constant prayers, seeking Almighty God's mercy. I also urge the people to use this period to pray for divine protection against evildoers, saboteurs, and all enemies of peace. Finally, let me assure you that we will continue to invest in the welfare of our security forces, support community-based vigilance, and pursue dialogue where possible without compromising the state's integrity or the safety of our people. Thank you. Long live Borno State. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And that was the governor of Borno State, Babagana Zulum, in a statewide broadcast. Meanwhile, the president of Christ Apostolic Church, CAC, Pastor Samuel Oladele, has cautioned Nigerians against mocking Christian religious leaders on social media. He stated that the collective prayers of religious leaders are the reason Nigeria has not totally disintegrated amid the ongoing security crisis. Oladele made the comment during a sermon at a church dedication service in Osogbo, Osun State, referencing derogatory posts about prominent pastors. He implored Nigerians to focus on praying for the country's leaders instead of attacking clergymen. The religious leader explained that for ministers, most battles are fought and won through prayer rather than through disruptive criticism. He urged citizens to keep trusting God, emphasizing that without divine help, nothing can be achieved here on earth. He acknowledged that clergymen are human and not perfect, but asserted there are men of God constantly praying for the country's peace. Oladele added that the Bible instructs Christians to pray for those in authority, not just to criticize them. And for some good news now, the Zamfara State Police Command has stopped an attempted kidnap in Gusau and rescued 25 victims. The attack happened on Friday when armed bandits stormed Kuraje village in large numbers. Police say the attackers abducted 10 women and 15 children before fleeing the scene. Security teams from Damba Division and the Operations Department immediately mobilized with help from community protection guards. They pursued the bandits and carried out a coordinated operation that led to the safe rescue of all the victims. The rescued women and children were later taken to Sabungari Damba for safety checks and documentation. The State Commissioner of Police praised the officers for their swift response. He assured residents that the command remains committed to protecting lives and property across Zamfara. And away from security matters, the former presidential candidate Peter Obi has criticized the federal government's handling of Nnamdi Kanu's case, saying dialogue remains the only path to lasting peace. Obi warned that the IPOB leader's life sentence could escalate national tension amid Nigeria's ongoing economic hardship and insecurity. In a post on X, Obi said the government mishandled the case from the start, failing to explore peaceful options. He urged national leaders to prioritize reconciliation and called on the presidency, the Council of State, and respected statesmen to seek a political solution. The Federal High Court in Abuja sentenced Kanu to life imprisonment for terrorism, finding him guilty of inciting violence belonging to a proscribed organization and threatening attacks on Nigerian and foreign targets. Justice James Omotosho ruled that Nigeria remains indivisible and that self-determination cannot be pursued through violence, ordering Kanu's transmitter forfeited and his detention in a secure facility without digital access. Kanu's legal team has vowed to appeal the verdict, calling the sentence excessive. Meanwhile, the Department of State Services transferred him to the Nigerian Custodial Center in Sokoto, following the judge's directive to move him outside Kuje, a move criticized by his former lawyer for isolating him from family and legal support. In the meantime, reactions are mixed over Nnamdi Kanu's life sentence. Our correspondent Undu Paleze spoke to people in Oka, Anambra State, who are divided on the issue. Take a listen.
For a youth leader, Imandi Ezenago, the judgment did not meet with his expectations, having in mind that previous judgments have favored Mazen Nnamdi Kanu.
The judgment is biased and uncalled for, because to start with, in the past administration, under the administration of His Excellency, late Muhammad Buhari, the Federal High Court ruled out all those 7 count charges against Nnamdi Kanu, was discharged and acquitted. Now the DSS still detained him, and then he was taken to appeal court. Appeal court also discharged and acquitted him. There is high rate of marginalization, so it is uncalled for, and it is a judgment filled with bias. If we can give an instance, the likes of Sunday Bori, James, and the rest of them. So if you know that there is high rate of marginalization.
Another youth leader, Comrade Chidube Ezekwe, it is a misgrill of a sort, since according to him, Southeasterners view it as a way down for them. He was, however, quick to point out that the law has taken its full course.
Mixed feelings. You would agree that right now, emotions are high, feelings are high. Those on the supporting side are very, very annoyed. They find it vexatious. Those on the negative side are reflecting, sober reflection. Any person who was surprised about what happened yesterday is either not informed or ignorant of the law. This is one angle to look at it. The other angle to look at it is that the law is the law, and the law is clear.
A public affairs analyst, Dr. Dennis Ekemezi, said the matter has just seen the legislative and judiciary dimensions, adding that the executive arm of government is expected to intervene with some sort of presidential pardon to bring the vexed issue to rest.
It's now left for the executive
to use this for the president to grant him pardon or so. I'm trying to say that it has to take now a political dimension. It has taken the judiciary dimension. It has the request by the members of the House of Rep, and then the presidential pardon will now come through the president. There's expectation. Our expectation is high that the president will grant us this demand for betterment of the Southeast, and then Nigeria in general, because it's not only for the Southeast, it's also for Nigeria, the peace in the country.
For the ordinary man on the street, the propriety of the judgment will be better appreciated in the restoration of security to the Southeast, as well as an end to the Monday sit at home. Ndu Apalese, VOP TV News.
Undu, thank you. Well, you're still watching News Hour on VOP TV. More stories after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. And now, recent kidnappings and attacks in other states have heightened anxiety in Edo State, leaving many worried about their safety and that of their families. Our correspondent, Rhoda Johnny, has details.
Fear and anxiety are rising among residents of Edo State over the increasing insecurity across Nigeria recent events, including the kidnapping of schoolgirls in Kebbi and the attack on worshippers in a church in Kwara State. Speaking with VOP TV, residents said the violence has disrupted daily life, making them cautious about sending children to school, attending public events, or going to places of worship.
I had expected that by this time the killing of the Brigadier General in Sambisa Forest would have orchestrated a lockdown in Borno State. Such a lockdown that would be so strong, brutal, precise, and would let the insurgents know that Nigeria is not a country you toy with. It is very important for leadership to send a message to these terrorists far and wide and let them know that this is still one of the greatest countries on earth.
Insecurity, which has threatened the very fabric of our society, the economy of our dear nation. Investors, foreign investors are unable to come around to do something. And then those of us who desire patriotically to be in this country, some are jetting out because of the insecurity situation in our dear country.
And we want to see more of him handling situations and making pronouncements on certain issues that pertains to the security, especially in the north, regarding Christians. Insecurity everywhere. It's no longer a piecemeal. The other day we heard of the general that was killed. It's embarrassing, and I think we've come of age to handle this issue squarely.
Expertise, we're talking of the Americans here. Their expertise in combating terrorism, banditry, and all that is at an advanced stage, at the highest stage anywhere in the world. The Americans have the expertise, they have the military hardware, they have the intelligence to do this. So what the president is going to do, I believe, is to collaborate with the American government to see how at least this terrorism and banditry can be brought to its lowest level.
Security is a global problem. It's a global concern. It's not restricted to Nigeria. The president is working hard to improve on the security situation in the country, irrespective of the threat from the president of America. I think he has put that on the front burner since he assumed office. Perhaps the implementation may not meet our expectations for now, but I believe that the federal government should be given time to solve this problem, which has been lingering for a long time.
The growing concern in Edo mirrors the wider national unease as Nigerians continue to hope for practical measures that will ensure the safety of families and neighborhoods across the country. In Benin, Rhoda Johnny, VOP TV News.
Thank you, Rhoda. Staying with Edo State, the Police Community Relations Committee held its first mega security conference in Benin City. The event brought together security agencies, community leaders, and citizens to discuss the state's security challenges and ways to strengthen collaboration. Rhoda Johnny again reports.
The Police Community Relations Committee in Edo State held its fourth mega security conference in Benin City on November 19 and 20, 2025. The two-day event brought together security stakeholders, community and religious leaders, and citizens to review the state's security situation. Organizers said the conference focused on improving coordination between law enforcement agencies, community leaders, and citizens to address security challenges in the state. Speakers, including the National Publicity Secretary, the State Chairman, and the Local Organizing Committee Chairman, highlighted ongoing security concerns and the need for practical action.
To re-energize our members and get them refocused and know how to relate more with the police and the communities.
For what is happening, it wasn't like this before. We don't know what is really behind it, but with we join our minds together, I believe one thing: without an insider, crime will be minimum. So we have come to discover that how do we cope this thing? We don't even know who to talk to. So today's this maker, we are bringing minds, intelligent minds together. It may look a little bit risky because why? As you are trying to give out information, the insider is also playing his own part somewhere.
At a point like this, because of the various happenings in the states, when it comes to security, it's a business for everybody. But what we need to know is that the awareness must be there first. What you don't know is bigger than you. What you know is half solved.
Is to bring all security agencies together. Like we had them yesterday. The military, the NDLA, NABDAC, the civil defense, the DSS, all agencies coming to speak to us on how we can restructure the security architecture in Edo State.
We are working hand in hand with the police and the military. We ensure that the divisional police officer, the DPO, are the one we are working with directly, because other officials in the police will leak out information because of the corruption in the society. So as a result of this, the fact that our police officers and the military have been really doing effective work according to their own efforts.
The conference ended with a commitment from participants to implement the strategies discussed during the event. In Benin, Rhoda Johnny, VOP TV News.
Thank you, Rhoda. Now, as the world marks World Television Day, veteran Nigerian journalist Bimbo Oloyede is weighing in on the future of broadcasting. She says that while streaming and digital platforms now dominate media consumption, television will survive only if it protects its integrity, especially its commitment to accurate reporting and fact-checking in the face of rising AI-generated misinformation. Oloyede welcomed digitization and changing audience habits, but urged broadcasters to uphold the editorial standards that have long made television a trusted news source.
Different level. It's going to take on a different approach. Creativity is going to take on a different level. It's going to take on a different approach. Some things that we haven't even thought about, we're going to start witnessing them. We're going to start watching them, especially when you come to the era of entertainment, when you come into the area of thinking about creating pictures, thinking about creating visuals that go with words, thinking about creating visuals that depict the arts. There is no way that what we have at present is going to remain. There's definitely going to be an explosion in terms of the use of AI and in terms of the use of other digital platforms. We are going to see some crazy, crazy things.
Bimbo Oloyede, veteran journalist. Coming up next, foreign, business, sports, entertainment stories after the show break. Stay with us.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
Welcome back, everyone. Now on the foreign scene, Bangladesh was hit by 2 aftershocks on Saturday following a powerful earthquake that killed at least 10 people. A 3.3 magnitude tremor struck Nashingdi district in the morning, while a 4.3 magnitude quake shook Dhaka in the evening. Residents described panic as the furniture shook and buildings swayed. Many feared more destruction as minor tremors continued, highlighting the vulnerability of the capital and surrounding districts. The Friday quake caused widespread damage, leaving cracks in dozens of homes and injuring hundreds. People are still coping with the aftermath, trying to salvage belongings and ensure the safety of their families. Authorities have activated emergency operations to assess damage and coordinate relief efforts. Experts say smaller tremors are normal after a major quake, but Bangladesh remains highly susceptible to seismic activity. Well, in business news, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has mandated that only Central Bank of Nigeria CBN licensed entities can collect electricity payments. All electricity distribution companies, DISCOs, must re-register their third-party collection partners before the 31st of December 2025 or face sanctions. The new guidelines set strict caps and commissions for all payment channels, including USSD, mobile wallets, POS agents, kiosks, and rural vendors. USSD transactions below 5,000 Naira attract a maximum fee of 20 Naira, while transactions above 5,000 are capped at 50 Naira, with other channels limited to between 0.75% and 3.25%, depending on the type. To register, collection service providers, CSPs, must submit a valid CBN license, DISCOS agreement, CAC incorporation documents, tax clearance, API integration with NIBSS, and a non-refundable 100,000 naira fee. Only registered CSPs may operate, and all existing contracts must be revalidated or become invalid after the deadline. NARC said the measures aim to curb arbitrary fees, improve transparency, and enhance liquidity for discos. However, smaller operators in remote areas fear the caps may make operations unprofitable, raising concerns about the policy's impact on service delivery in undeserved communities. Well, in sports news, Chelsea boosted their Premier League title hopes with a hard-fought 2-0 win over Burnley on Saturday. Pedro Neto gave the Blues the lead just before halftime, and Enzo Fernandez sealed the victory late in the match. The win moves Enzo Maresca's side into second place, 3 points behind leaders Arsenal. Chelsea have won 8 of their last 10 games, showing strong form leading into crucial fixtures. The victory comes ahead of back-to-back home matches against Barcelona in the Champions League and Arsenal in the league. Despite injuries to Cole Palmer and Moses, Chelsea managed a disciplined performance at Turf Moor. Burnley remain in the relegation zone after losing 5 of their last 7 matches. Chelsea's late goal from Fernandes capped a dominant display, keeping their momentum alive for the title race. Well, still sports news, Ruben Amorim is approaching his first anniversary as Manchester United manager with a match against Everton at Old Trafford on Monday. Amorim's tenure began with a 1-1 draw away to Ipswich and has included many lows since taking charge of the English football giants. Despite earlier struggles, recent results have been encouraging as United are currently unbeaten in their last 5 league games. Amorim is refusing to take anything for granted, approaching the upcoming match with extreme caution. The Portuguese boss dismissed any notion that an easier schedule is ahead, even though United face only 3 top 10 teams in their next 10 matches. He stressed that in the Premier League, the league table is irrelevant because the competition is simply too tight. Amorim expressed optimism about the team's direction, saying he expects a team with more control and dominance, playing better football. He insisted that the most important thing is that the team is now more competitive in every aspect. Entertainment news now. The Federal Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy has announced the postponement of the 2025 National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST. The festival was previously scheduled to begin on Saturday in Enugu State. The decision was made following a thorough assessment of the current national atmosphere and recent security incidents, causing widespread grief. Minister Hannatu Musa Musawa approved the postponement in honor of the affected families and lives lost. NAFEST is a significant event that promotes national cohesion, cultural exchange, and Nigeria's diverse heritage. More than 28 states were already in Enugu preparing for the festival before the postponement was announced. The government considered it prudent and sensitive to shift the event given the collective grief currently felt across the country. A new date for NAFEST will be announced later, pending further consultations with key stakeholders and security agencies. And now, Fuji music star Abbas Akonde, popularly known as Obesere, was violently attacked on Friday during a burial ceremony in Okitipupa local government area of Ondo State. A gang of thugs stormed the event, causing chaos and forcing many guests to flee in fear. Several members of Obesere's band were assaulted and musical equipment was vandalized. One band member was stabbed while trying to protect his colleagues from the attackers. A witness, Bosede Akinyemi, described the incident as a truly disgraceful act, noting that the thugs specifically targeted Obesere and his band while entertaining the guests. She said the attack left everyone at the event shocked and scared. scared. Authorities have yet to release details on arrests or investigations. Meanwhile, the music community has expressed outrage over the assault and called for swift action to ensure the safety of performers in the state. And that wraps it up for us, the news hour. But before we go though, a quick look at the headlines. We told you that the federal government has ordered closure of Unity colleges over security threats. Also, the federal government says no nationwide school closure. And DSS chief meets Tinubu as school abductions spark national alarm. Borno governor declares statewide day of fasting and prayer amid insecurity as police foil attack in Zamfara. Also, Peter Obi calls for dialogue after Nnamdi Kanu's life sentence. On the foreign scene, aftershocks hit Bangladesh as death toll climbs to 10. In business news, only CBN licensed firms can collect electricity payments that is coming from the NERC. And in sports news, Blues beat Burnley 2-0 to close gap on EPL leaders. And in the world of entertainment, federal government postpones NAFEST 2025 due to national insecurity. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV, and on the social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. If you witness news happening near you, we want to hear from you. Send your eyewitness reports, event coverage requests, photos, or videos directly via WhatsApp to 0814-606-4057. You can also reach our newsroom by email at news@vop.ng. I am Vivian Oguche. Thank you for watching.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeats, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
Behind every broken debt lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday